Tell me your name and how many conventions you have attended.
Name is Jennifer Jones, or Jen, I like to go by, and I've attended over 50 conventions.
And can you tell me a little bit about your first experience with fandom or participatory culture? How old were you? What was it like?
I think I must have been around the age of 13, and the internet wasn't a big thing back then, but there was a lot of message boards that people used to use, and I think I used to go on message boards and talk to people about what I like, which was at the time Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was my thing. I was majorly obsessed with. I think I started watching in 1997 when it first came out. I think I must have been about 9 then. And then I got all of the books and really started getting into it. And then, yeah, when I was about 13, that's when I discovered the internet side of things and found people who liked it as much as I did.
So, speaking of social media, it obviously plays a huge role within fandom. What has your experience been like using social media as a way to communicate with other fans and sort of maintain and create friendships or relationships with people that you would necessarily never ever meet in any other time or sort of element of the world?
It's actually been really great for me. All of my best friends now I've met through Twitter or LiveJournal or different forums. So I feel like when you meet someone who likes some of the same things that you do, they usually have the same views on other aspects of life and also like other things that you like. So it's really easy to get along with people like that. And you might not be able to find them in the real world not using social media or online forums or whatever format. So yeah, it's been really positive for me. I mean, there are some negative aspects, but mostly it's pretty positive.
I mean, as we all know, there's a lot of animosity online, and fans can be, a little bit touchy and very opinionated. But I guess that's what makes them so wonderful. Um, so, when did you go to your first convention? What were your initial feelings before you attended? Were you a little bit nervous, but also, obviously quite excited?
I think I was probably pretty nervous and excited. It was a convention in Milton Keynes at a shopping centre. It was called Collectomania, and they used to have it a couple of times a year. And I went to see Anthony Stewart Head, who played Giles in Buffy. And yeah, it was just really because he was the first celebrity I'd ever met. It just was really surreal. I remember seeing him and being like, "Oh my god, you're real." Do you know what I mean? Yeah, very very bizarre to start off with, but because I've done quite a few now, I'm sort of more used to it, and I feel more relaxed and chill around people.
That's good. And so, obviously, the experience was very good. I'm guessing you've enjoyed it and you've sort of made your way into this area of convention and given it a right good explore. Can you tell me one of your favorite conventions that you've been to, or one that sort of stuck out from the rest that is really memorable to you?
It's usually the ones where I've got a lot of friends that I know, because it's sort of become more about meeting up with friends and spending time with them than it is about the convention itself. Obviously, it helps if the convention is really organised and they have good events that you're going to have a good time with. There's one in Bournemouth, I think it is, called SF Ball. And that one's usually really good. And they usually have a group of core people that attend all of them, no matter what actors and celebrities go. So it's sort of become like a family. And they're always really chill and really fun.
Oh, I love that that's like local to me and that's so close now. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Check that one out. It's really fun.
I know I'll have to definitely do my research because I've never actually heard of that one. So onto the negative side, on the subject of money, cons are quite expensive. I've experienced it, you've experienced it. Do you think it's a gratifying experience when you get to meet these stars, even though you've paid quite a lot of money to see them?
I mean, sometimes if they might be having an off day, you kind of regret spending the amount of money that you have spent. But usually they're in a good mood because they know that they're here to meet their fans and it's people who love and admire them. Um, So usually it's a good experience and enjoyable and worth the money, I'd say. But I also think there's an aspect to it where it's sort of a status thing. Like you have to have that picture with that celebrity so that you can show your friends and they can be like, oh my God, you met that person. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, because I've been looking into it, and there was a study that showed that with these events, it's all about FOMO, so, fear of missing out, and there was a study by the University of Southern California that had said that people are more likely to go into debt to pay for experiences rather than material goods, which is exactly what these conventions prove.
I never realised how much I spend because I always like buy the entrance ticket and then they add another guest and then you'll pay for something for that. And then a few months later, you might pay for something else. And you never sort of really realise how much you're spending for this one event until you sort of look back. I mean, I try not to look back because sometimes it's a bit ridiculous.
No, yeah, I don't like to look at the bank account after you've been to one of these events because you just don't really want to think about it. So attending so many cons, you'll have met so many different people, whether this is, the guests that you're there to see or the people that you meet that genuinely become friends. Obviously, you must maintain contact and friendships with the people that you've met at conventions. What's that like when you go to these events and you connect with people that you probably only get to see, a couple of times a year, or then afterwards you decide to, meet up and do loads of fun stuff, like we've done.
Yeah, it's really great. It's so nice to have an excuse to spend time with people that you really like hanging out with. And conventions usually do that. Usually, sometimes I might not see people I really, really like unless they're all going to go to the same convention that I'm going to.
Okay, very nice. And so now we're in COVID, lockdown 2. It's been going on for a while. Everybody's feeling a bit rubbish. The virus is still having a huge impact on the convention industry. Did you have any plans to attend any events this year?
So I think I had about 3 or 4 cons booked. There was one that was coming up in April, which was in Milan, and that got postponed. And I was supposed to go to one in Wales, which has been postponed a couple of times. And then Paris, I was going to go to Paris. And also Germany, I bought tickets to go to a convention in Germany. And I think that was it. A lot of them have been postponed, so I'm hoping I'll get to go next year. But yeah, it's not been great for conventions this year.
It has not. It has not been great for conventions this year. And the annoying thing is that most of them are in these wonderful places like Milan and Paris where you get to make a holiday of it. You get to travel. And now the big thing is what they're doing is they're just doing it online. So you're paying for this experience at a virtual level, which is what a lot of companies are choosing to do for these events. What do you think about this being, as I would say, a veteran of the convention industry, as you are, Jen, because you've done so many of them? Is it fair or effective to run these events still when the experience is totally different?
I don't think they should be an instead of thing. I think they could be different because it's not the same meeting someone in person as having a video chat with someone, I don't think. And also I get incredibly nervous chatting to people online, like with video. So I don't think I would, even if I really liked someone, I don't think I would pay to have a video chat with them because I'd just be, for some reason, more nervous than doing it in person.
And isn't it now that usually when you buy the ticket, as we both know, you have your panels and stuff included, everything's basically included in this ticket. But now a lot of it is you've already paid for the ticket, but you've now got to pay a bit of money on top to attend this panel with a couple of guests. But you're not getting that real life experience. You're sat at your computer and you're waiting to answer your question. Obviously, that's not the same.
They can't see that you're there.
No, which makes it even more awkward because let's be honest, even when you go to these events anyway, they can barely see you because of how bright the lights are and the microphones are always rubbish. So it is up for debate that the companies obviously want to run these events because it makes money and they've got a little bit of a supplement as going into the next year when they're trying to book guests and venues and hotels and that sort of thing. So would you or have you attended a virtual convention? I'm not sure if you covered that.
I have. The thing is, I've booked a couple of tickets for some panels, but then I don't think I actually watched it because I knew that I could just watch a video of it online that someone had recorded later on. It seems strange to have to show up at a certain time when it might not be convenient for you, when you can just watch it later.
Especially if these events are in the US for some of them as well. And so what people have just been recording them and then just sharing them later anyway, which defeats the purpose of going.
Exactly. And then you sort of think you don't really need to pay for it because someone will record it and you can see it and not pay for it. But I also am not really fond of watching panels that are recorded either. So I probably wouldn't even watch them because they seem more embarrassing somehow when you're not actually there to watch it. It just seems a bit forced.
And I completely agree. And even if it's now, instead of them autographing the picture for you in person, they'll send it to you. And we've seen some stars have been genuine enough to go, oh, don't worry, I've got in touch with the company and I'll make sure they're all personalised. But it's not the same.
It's like getting a thing on eBay that says to Jen, and it's just some random other Jen and they have no idea who it is.
Because you pay for the experience.
Not the picture, it's the experience of going up and introducing yourself, having a little chat, and then them signing your picture.
And then it's the exact same if, when you get these wonderful photos taken with the stars that you can advertise everywhere on all your social media to show off to people and go, look, I met this person and it was brilliant. And now the alternative is that they'll send you a video. It makes it feel inauthentic, and I understand why the celebrities are doing it, because it's a bit of money at the end of the day. It's money in the back pocket, and that's why a lot of them do these events, because they know it's a guaranteed paycheck. So have any of your friends attended any? Like, what did they think about it if they had?
Some of them have attended some of the panels and got some videos sent as well. I think it also really depends on the pricing, because there's quite a lot of them around at the moment. So they know if something seems too expensive in one place, there might be a cheaper one coming up and they can just get the same experience. So yeah, a few of them have done them. And some of them, if they're like really into a celebrity at the time, they can really enjoy listening to them talk for an hour. So it's been good. It's been something to think about while we're all locked inside. So I think that there is a benefit to them, but they're not my favorite thing, and they wouldn't replace conventions for me.
I completely agree. They don't replace the original origin of what a convention stands for and what the experience is like for both the stars and the fans. And so to finish this lovely interview, what do you think the future holds for the convention industry? Will it be able to recover from COVID, do you think?
I think some of them may not, but there will always be other companies that pop up, because I don't think it's very difficult to form a convention company if you know what you're doing, because there's no like physical product. They've just got to find a venue and arrange to get all the actors there for a certain date. So it's not like they're selling something that they can't sell again.
Yeah, I completely agree. And obviously it's an industry where before COVID, you would find a con running every weekend anywhere in the world. And with these big companies, like as we know, they have money coming in from here, there and everywhere, not just from their events, but sponsorships and that sort of thing. So I think the same as you, they'll be able to recover, but it might be some of the more personal, non-commercial ones that will suffer.
The smaller ones that have only got a couple of events that may have tanked this year, they might not be able to recover, or they might not want to because of the hassle of having to refund everyone or having to rebook everything.